Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host Frank Holder. This is a show we talk about comics. Actually, we talk about sports with comedians. Let's bring in my man Mo while we wait for other comics to show up. Mo, what's happening? What's cracking?
What's going on, Frank? What's going on, Frank? Man, I'm just chilling. You know, I didn't know I was gonna come in first because I was gonna say shout out to Talent and Mike Sean. Like I heard Chris Rock mention Talent in the interview he did with Kevin Hart. I don't know if you saw it on the show Heart to Heart where they drink wine and they were talking about comics and Chris Rock was blah blah blah. You know, Talent, one of them guys.
Mhm.
And Mike Shaw was interviewing Fred Hammond this morning on the radio show. I like that was kind of dope.
Oh man, no, you know me, man. I'm doing so
I
much. I didn't
know,
even know.
I know you, and I was going to shout you out too. You know, you El Capitan, you El Chapo. You know, you got the plug.
Here we go with that again.
You the plug,
Here we
baby.
go
You
with
the
that.
plug.
Yeah. That's all I am. Just the plug. That's all. Just the plug. That's the plug. That's the
Then
plug.
listen, without the plug, we're nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We try though. We try to create our own plugs, right? That's what we try to do.
That's
Right?
just so saying. Yeah, you got your own lane, man. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a part of it.
I like your hats that you got going on behind the scenes too, bro. I like those. Except the New York
Thank you.
ones, you know. Except the
Well,
New
they
York
all
ones.
New York. They're all New York hats. All of them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I can't. Yeah.
They
Oh,
all.
yeah. They are. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. We're
Come
gonna
on,
talk
Frank.
about that. We're gonna talk about
You
that.
we're gonna talk about that. Who else is on with us today?
Right now, it's gonna probably be me and you. I wait to a couple other people's shows because T's gonna come in, Mike's gonna come in a little late, everything else. But we're gonna get this ball started rolling, man. So, T, I'm so
I'm
used to
not.
saying,
I'm not cheating. Not
and so
cheating.
used to saying T, Mo.
Yeah.
Uh, let's talk about this Bronny James situation, man. I don't know if you heard about this, but Bronny James has been his situation been kept under wraps. It looked like he's trying to decide which college he's going to go to, but he's not getting recruited like the way he thought he was going to get recruited. So I guess the question is because if he wasn't LeBron James' son, would he even be getting the attention he's getting? You know what I mean? Right now, he got Ohio State, Oregon, USC, and Michigan right now. Excuse me, talking to him. But I guess the question is if he wasn't, LeBron James' son, would he even be getting that? And LeBron is looking forward to him even going to the NBA. So I don't know, man. What's your take on this situation?
I mean, you know what? Of course, he wouldn't be getting the recognition he's getting now if he wasn't LeBron James' son. Even if he was a top tier D1 player, he wouldn't be getting this recognition that he's getting now. You know, it's because of LeBron, and you know, it's sometimes it's hard being the child of a great athlete because I remember when Jordan's kid was doing a whole bunch, and you know, he didn't really pan out to be that great because they go after you harder when they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
but
your
he
father."
wasn't. But Jordan's kid wasn't getting the look that Bronny's getting though. You know what I mean? I don't think it's even comparable. You know what I mean? I think Bronny's getting more looks because LeBron has said out. He came out public like I'm gonna play with my son when he makes it to the NBA. He assumed that his son is gonna make it to the NBA. You know what I mean? That's what I
Well,
think.
he hopes. I don't. I mean, tomatoes, tomatoes. I don't. He wouldn't be getting this attention if he wasn't LeBron James' son. And apparently, he ain't that great of an athlete if he's not getting too many schools recruiting him. I mean, the James name can carry you, but so far it got you in the door. But you know, what are you going to do once you in there? Are you going to excel as an athlete? And apparently, he's not doing that great. I never really checked his stats. I just know it's LeBron James' son.
Yeah. Honestly, I looked at him play a couple times. I saw a lot of clips and everything else. I was never impressed saying, okay, this dude's gonna make it to the NBA. He ain't never stood out to me like, he played like a normal D1, D2,
Right.
student. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I expect to see this and everything else. But it wasn't no like, ooh, can't wait to see this kid when he get to it was nothing like that,
Nothing like that.
nothing like that at all to me. I'm not
Nothing
sure.
like the Wembamba. What's the name? I'm gonna say it right. Wembamba.
Oh, that the French kid, it won't be
Yeah,
on. I don't even know how to pronounce his name
yeah. I
anymore.
can't
No,
pronounce.
it
We got to get
wasn't
it
like
right.
that. Nah, it wasn't like that. But
I
that kid's in
mean,
college. That kid's in college though. You know what I mean? That one beyond kid. He's in college, and Bronny James is in high school. So he's in high school trying to get to college. And one be honest, and actually he's not even really in college. He's really playing pro overseas, but their pro starts sooner than our pro league. You know what I mean? So he getting the draft. So and he's 17.
hey, listen, kids. Like I said, it's hard to be a kid of someone that's famous Listen, it ain't guaranteed that Blue Ivy's gonna know how to dance and sing when she get older. You know what I'm saying? But she'll get scouted for it because she's a Carter. It ain't, because you that child of that breed don't mean you're gonna be successful in that field.
Yeah, but if she can't sing, dance, or rap, she gonna be her life
ain't that gonna change? Ain't that gonna change? She's set.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Financially, yeah. But in her own mind, but when you grow up with money, well, I'm assuming because I didn't grow up with money, but I'm assuming that if you grow up with money, you still have other desires and wants, and the money doesn't impress you because you had that already. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
money. You're not impressed with money because it's just a regular thing laying around the house.
Yeah,
you impressed with more goals and achievements.
Right. So let's jump into some of the stuff I want to talk about, man. I don't know if you heard about this. I saw this morning. Carolina Panthers happened to be got caught breaking the rules while they were searching for their next head coach, according to several reports. Nicole Tepper is the wife of the Panthers owner, David Tepper, and she's also the chief administrative officer of Tepper Sports Entertainment. And according to the reports, she did not fulfill the requirements of inclusive hiring training necessary for her to be able to take part in potential candidate interviews. This chick is sitting in the interviews and everything else. She had to go through a training and everything else to sit in these interviews, and she didn't do it. She skipped her line and everything because she's like, listen, I'm the wife of the owner. I'm gonna sit in everything else, but you got to go through this extensive ownership type of training before you sit in the interviews while they're interviewing for head coaches. She didn't do it. And it's because she didn't do it, the NFL looks like they're going to fine the Carolina Panthers. I guess the question is, how deep will the fine go? Will it be a draft pick and everything else? And people are saying it might be a draft pick, right or wrong. What you think, Mo?
Yeah, well, she got to go through the process. She got to go through the process. Rules are rules. It's there for a reason. Right. It's like I said, man. Everybody wants microwave success. They want a success that they put in a microwave for 2 minutes and then bam, I got what I want. It ain't like that. You got to take your time. You got to earn your positions. You got to earn the right to do certain things. And yeah, it probably will be a draft pick. And Carolina, they need all they can get right now. They need every little bit. Every little bit counts for Carolina. Every little bit. They like, listen, bag it up. Get the stuff that we couldn't bag up, rebag it. We're going to sell that too. We need everything we can get to get this team right.
Yeah, and let's not talk about what privilege does. That's a whole nother conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Is it privilege? Did we call it privilege when T.I.'s trying to be a comedian and he skipped the line doing stadiums?
Yeah, that's privilege. Yeah.
Okay, I'm agree with you. That was pretty damn right. It was.
No matter what color you are, if you go so long for so much, everything else, and you expect everything, you get this privilege entitlement. You know what I mean? And you think that certain things is supposed to be given to you. That's not how it's supposed to be.
And listen, probably her skipping the line means that she gonna miss something and she gonna probably flop.
Yeah,
it's gonna come back and haunt her. There's a reason why there's a process.
Yeah, you damn right there is. Anyway, the show. First of all, thank you all for watching and supporting us as we wait for the other guys to come in, man. The show's called Box Seats. We talk about sports. We wait for the guys to come in. If they come in, they might not come because it's Friday. You know what I mean, guys? You know how it is. And I was crying yesterday, Mo, because my computer crashed. So
yeah, when you
can laugh all you want. I was a big deal.
When you text me, I didn't say that back because I'm like, I want to be like, you okay? I'm gonna leave him alone right now.
At the time, that wasn't a good time to talk. Nah, it wasn't a good time.
Yeah, that's why I left it alone. I said I would leave him alone right now. I see you put up there like, I'm good. My computer. That's when I was like, all right, let me kick a little joke. Like, you was gonna lose. You always had a baby, boy. You always had a baby yesterday, huh?
Yeah, but I realized I had backed up everything, so I was good. Let's talk about the NFL games, man. I know you're real excited about talking about your Giants. So I already know I know you got the Giants. So you got the Giants versus the Eagles. I'm gonna be you take the Giants, I'm gonna take the Eagles. Okay, and now I'm looking at, obviously my team ain't in it, so I can care less who wins. But I'm looking at it from an overall perspective. I think, in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt, I think the Giants could get them. You know what I mean? That could be the upset of the weekend. It could be.
Could be.
But I watched the Giants play last weekend, I watched them have their moments of struggle. But I also watched, the Eagles, man. I don't think this is going to be a team that trip up the Eagles. I think the 49ers going to trip up, which brings me to the next game. Game I think that it would be surprise everybody is if the Cowboys beat the 49ers. I think that would be the biggest.
That would be the biggest upset, and that would be the worst win for. Oh God! I mean, the only fans that are worse than Cowboy fans is. I ain't gonna say since you are the producer, director, you the plug. I can't.
Sorry, I know there's some Patriots fans who are horrible. They real bad. They're real bad. But if the Cowboys win, you ain't gonna be able to shut not a Cowboys.
Oh man,
they're gonna come out all the woodwork, everything else for entire another week, and then because they go into the NFC Championship. Can you imagine that? But let's be honest, Mo. In my opinion, and maybe will you agree or disagree? In my opinion, the Cowboys are not going to get past the 49ers. What you think?
No, they're not, because you know what? When it all comes down to it, defense wins games.
Yeah.
Defense wins championship, not games. I meant to say defense wins championship. This time of the year, one small kink in your defense, and I think that's what Dallas has. Like I'm good with Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons is a beast. He's a phenomenal player, but Bosa and all them over there in San Francisco, their corners, nothing, and they say,
yeah,
and they're gonna get at Dak. And Dak has yet to prove, not Dak, but his offensive line, they're not that sturdy. Yeah,
this is the end of the. Let's be honest. This is the end of the road for the Cowboys this weekend. But Jaguars facing the Chiefs this weekend. I think this is the blowout of the weekend. I think the Chiefs are gonna blow their doors off. I don't even think it's gonna be close. But
yeah, I see that.
The Chiefs beating the Jaguars too.
Yeah, they're gonna beat them like a redhead stepchild. I swear to God, they gonna beat them. They gonna beat them in a submission. They might even call the game at halftime. This is the second time in one season the game got called. One guy had a heart attack. The other one, the team would just take a complete ass whooping and couldn't take it no more. That's it. Couldn't take it no more. No mas. They ain't coming out for the second half. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Y'all need time. You good, Frank? You good?
Sorry.
Don't listen. Hey, I know that. Listen, I know
when you work on 3 hours sleep and trying to do trying to get
I know that
the Sundays up and running, trying to make sure the awards is doing. Then I got to do box seats. Then I got to do the chant. Like, bro, that's what that young I'm doing.
I know it. Listen, I ain't mad at you, man. Listen, I don't know how Steve Harvey say. I don't know any millionaires that sleep 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's true. Because you don't sleep. You just don't sleep.
You don't sleep. So, but yeah, the 49ers, that's it. It's a done deal, man. They're going to run up in them and wrinkle their face like linen. That's it. They're done.
It's all right. And so the game I know you want to see, the biggest game you want to see is the Giants versus the Eagles. But the game I'm looking forward to this weekend, man, has got to be the Bengals versus the Bills, because we didn't get a chance to see that a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to that, man. And from what I saw a couple of weeks ago, it looked like the Bengals was having a little bit of difficulty moving the ball against the Bills. But it was so early on in the first quarter. Everybody's just getting sorted, everything. It was so early on. But the game is here now. So that's the game I'm really interested in seeing. Who you got versus Bengals versus the Bills?
I've been rolling with the Bills all season. And I don't know, the last game, wasn't the Bengals up? They were up.
Yeah, they were up.
And they were in position to score again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bengals is they were kind of giving them the business. I'm still going to roll with the Bills only because I picked them. But this is when the Bills miss Von Miller. Von's out. Without him, that's why he came there. That's why they brought him there, to be the closer. Von's out. It's like having all the ingredients. You got the blah blah, you got the water, but you ain't got the baking soda. It won't come back together. It ain't going.
Yeah, I don't know what ingredients you're trying to make. I don't know what you're cooking, but it didn't sound like coffee. I can tell you that. That was not.
We don't all to come together. You gotta have the bacon. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. But anyway, no, they don't have Von Miller, and without Von Miller, it might show. But I think Josh Allen has some heroics in him to get past the Bengals.
Yeah, Honestly, I think the Bengals gonna beat the Bills, bro. I think they're gonna. Now, mind you, I'm pulling for the Bills. I hope the Bills win. I want the Bills. You know how when it has a magical season, when you have these magical reasons and everything else, and because of what happened with DeMar Hamlin, I'm really pulling for the Bills now because listen, the Bills went to the Super Bowl 4 times and lost. They should have went to the Super Bowl last year with that fluke game. They gave up that point move in 13 seconds. You know what I mean? All that was unheard of. So I'm rooting for the Bills now, especially since the Patriots ain't in it. I hope the Bills can do it, but I think the Bengals got too much. I think the Bengals got their number and the Chiefs' number. I think the Bengals know how to beat.
Really? You think they're gonna beat the Chiefs too?
Yeah, I think they're gonna beat the Chiefs, like handily too. You know what I mean? Because the last 3 times they played the Chiefs, they actually last 2 times they played the Chiefs, they beat them twice. You know what I mean? So
I know they played them this year twice, didn't they? Did they play them? They played them this year.
Yeah, they beat them. So
they played them in Kansas City too.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like the Bengals are the scariest team to me in the AFC. You know what I mean? Because and since Von Miller's not playing for Buffalo, their defense doesn't have that attack like the way they did when Von was there,
right?
And then they had some injuries. I don't know, man. The Bills are scaring me, and they all putting everything on Josh Miller. You can't do that. You know what I mean? The Bills don't have a running game unless it's Josh Miller. They got wide receivers, but they don't have the pass rush like they did because Von Miller's not there.
Von Miller's not there. Yeah, and someone said earlier, you see the difference with Brian Daboll not being in Buffalo, and you see the difference of Brian Daboll being in New York. Mm-hmm. Like they do miss that piece with Brian Daboll being there. You know what I'm saying? Getting Josh Allen over those humps and having him prepared, a lot of that preparedness. Someone's, the head coach don't mean nothing if he ain't got the right team behind him.
Yeah.
If you ain't got the right team.
The Bills do have the scariest future, though. Let's listen. If they don't get there this year and they end up falling and a running back ends up falling to them next year and Von Miller comes back, I would put money on that they're going to win the Super Bowl next year. You know what I mean?
I'll give them that. I really think they really need to do something good this year to solidify next year. Because they don't have a whole lot of time left. They don't have a whole lot. That clock is ticking.
Window streaking. But check this out. If Jadeveon Clowney, who's now a free agent, if he lands up there and they got Von Miller and he comes back, can you imagine if he goes to because he's looking for a Super Bowl ring right now. He got all the money in the world because Jadeveon Clowney goes up there and you got obviously Von Miller comes back. That pass rush would be scary. You know what I mean? And
I've never been a fan of Clowney.
You ain't got to be a fan. All you got to do is just sit there and watch how he get at you because he's really good when he got somebody else. He ain't that phenomenal when it's him by himself.
Yeah,
if it was him, somebody else, the counterpart. It's like Batman and Robin. You know what I mean? So
right.
I don't know. I mean, the Bills' future is bright, but that window is going like this. You know what I mean?
It's getting small. It's getting small.
I'd be concerned if I was a Bills fan. Sorry, Trina. Let me see if Trina is she's on the side. Trina, I'm sorry, Trina.
Trina, she's there. Yeah, Trina's there. I'm looking at it too. I got it loud. Yeah, she's like, that's right, Frank. Buffalo Bills Nation.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Let's talk about other NFL stories, man. I just saw this morning that the Colts are thinking about bringing back Jeff Saturday, and I almost threw my iPad across the room. I was like, if y'all bring this dude back, that organization, you would really piss off an entire level of everybody else who's a Colts. Now, I'm not a Colts fan. I can care less. But I know if I was a Colts fan and you telling me you get ready to bring back Jeff Saturday and you got all these other great coaches who be sitting on the sideline, black and white, who better than this dude, and you bringing that dude back? What was he, 1-5, 1-7? He won one game?
I think so. Something like that. Yeah.
I'd be really
Yeah, I was sitting back today watching ESPN and wondering to myself, the season's over. Where's Jeff Saturday at? Why is he not back on TV? That's what I really was thinking that today. I didn't even know about the report. Yeah, they need to stop drinking that monkey oil down there. They drink that monkey oil down in because they got it's an oil town, Lucas Oil Stadium. So they drinking that monkey oil, and that monkey oil got them bouncing around the room. Because they didn't have the baking soda in the monkey oil to make it all come back right.
You need these ingredients. So, where's my man Dave at doing the disclaimer when I need him? He needs to do my disclaimer. Like the humor mill is not associated, and this is not the. I don't even know how to say it the way he put it together, but
The human mill has no. Listen, listen. I'm on my own. Human mill had not asked me
yeah,
to say
yeah,
any of this stuff.
yeah,
Anything
here
that
we
comes
go.
out my mouth is from
It-
Mister Sit Your Ass Down. And if you got a problem with it, sit your ass down. No, but yeah, they that might be just a rumor, man. They're not bringing back Jeff Saturday. They
no,
can't do it.
they really no. It's several reports saying they getting ready to bring him back. They haven't talked about bringing him back. And in other news, the Minnesota Vikings were so upset that they fired the defensive coordinator Ed Donatel. What was it yesterday? Day before yesterday? And I was like, ooh, you fired that dude. You should have fired a lot of people on the offensive side of the ball too, because your offense sputtered. You know what I mean? But
That's right.
here's the problem, Mo, is when you have expectations, high expectations, and you don't meet them, somebody got to get fired. You know what I mean?
Somebody got to go.
Yeah,
somebody got to go. And I think you were right with the offense. I saw that report too about the D. I was like, really, the defense? Defense wasn't. Defense is kind of what kept y'all in the games.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, y'all should have fired the goose on the offensive side. Yeah, the defense. I don't know, but that's what they're doing over there. Let's talk about my man Lamar Jackson, because the GM believes that he wants to finish his career with the Ravens. And right with that news also came the news that Greg Roman has resigned. He's the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, and they were a little bit upset about when he came out. Now, we talked about Lamar Jackson a couple of times this week and everything else. I'm gonna go on the record and say I don't know if Lamar Jackson's coming back. Number one, and number two. This is the scary part. I think his mother, who's his agent, acting as his agent, when she gets that deal, people right now talking bad about her, but when she gets that deal, that $220 million contract, that's going to be sit your ass down moment for everybody else. Right, Mo?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know if he's going. I don't think. I want to say they're going to get rid of him and trade him, but it was like when the Nets was trying to trade Durant and other players or other teams, they're just too good. You're never going to get what they're worth. Any team that gives you anything, they're going to have to basically empty out, so they're going to come up with multiple first round, second round picks, players, cash incentives. I don't know. I think they're gonna have to keep them, and they're gonna have to meet somewhere in a common ground. That's what's just gonna have to happen. I think that
he's franchise taggable too. So I don't know how that situation will work out with them because he doesn't have. I mean, he has a strength of position on the negotiating side, but he in order for him not to move, they could franchise tag him, and that could be another one of your sit your ass down moments. They'd be like, you sit down because you ain't going nowhere. At least
you ain't going nowhere.
2 years, they could franchise tag him for another 2 years. But let's have some fun with this, Mo. Where would you like to see him if he ain't literally? And don't say the Giants, Mo.
No.
Where would you like to see him if he ain't with the Baltimore Ravens? I got a team I think we'd be phenomenal with.
I know who you're gonna say.
Who?
The Patriots.
Nah, I would like to see him go to Patriots, but I'm not gonna pick my team because that's too easy.
Okay. I think he'll go. I think he would be a perfect fit with the New York Jets.
Really?
The Jets have a defense already set up. The Jets have a decent offensive line already set up. The Jets have a running game, and they have better. He had a bet. Listen, they might not have the best running game, but they got a better running game than they got in Baltimore. They might not have the best receivers, but they're better than the receivers in Baltimore. And he's already proven he don't need a whole lot to be successful. You know what I'm saying? He just need a little bit. He just need a little bit of space. That's it. That's faith of a mustard seed. And he out there running. And that team would turn around. You put the Jets in there. He turned that team. If he goes to the Jets, what did the Jets automatically become?
They're definitely a playoff team. Definitely.
More than that. They're definitely a Super Bowl team. Yeah. Listen, they were a Super Bowl team almost in people's eyes with Zach Wilson.
Yeah. You know what I think is though? I don't know why I keep thinking this, but I was like, man, if he was to land on Tennessee Titans right now with Derrick Henry, and he could go back to act like what they call the run pass option, the RPOs, and people were thinking, and they would murder that. The defense would stand there all day. I don't see them losing too many games. I don't think they lose more than 3 games.
What's that offensive line like? Who was the quarterback for them? Tannehill, right? Tannehill, right?
Yeah.
But what was their offensive line like? I didn't get to see. But no, I watched them during the Giants game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
he can
offensive
fit.
line not bad at all. But that wasn't their problem. Their problem was they didn't have a wide receiver because they traded away AJ Brown. You know what I mean?
Right. That's right.
They traded him away to the Philly, and that was their problem. But when you fake it, like when you're the quarterback and the team's scared that you're going to run, and you're faking like you're getting ready to pass the ball, I mean you get ready to hand off to the running back, and they think, oh well, yeah, and they have to freeze because they think you're going to do the fake. You know what I mean?
Right.
That makes them stand, and then you can run the ball yourself. You know what I mean? Like so. Listen, a running quarterback in the Tennessee system works perfectly, and they could win a lot of games if they get the right QB. With a standing up pocket QB, you can't do that. Ain't gonna happen. So that's why I was like, man, I wouldn't mind seeing him in Tennessee. Of course, I'd like to see him in the Patriots, but the Patriots don't even have that kind of system for. You know what I mean? They'd have to change a lot. They don't have that kind of system.
They have to change the whole system around.
Yeah, they would have to change the whole system. So speaking of people getting fired, the defensive coordinator Josh Baer, he got fired after 3 seasons, and I was like, yeah, I guess that's shocking. But the biggest news that shocked me was Byron Leftwich got fired yesterday. I was like, didn't this dude just take them to the Super Bowl 2 years ago? Y'all that mad, that fast, and then you got to the playoffs last year, and then you fire him 1 year after. Is it his fault? Y'all had a lot of injuries. What you think?
I'm at the channel in my inner business day, the businessman, bully. A black man can't be successful in the NFL. All right, y'all sitting back watching the games, and y'all ain't watching the moves. You don't say they got you caught up watching the games, and you ain't watching the moves.
I'm gonna let him know that you're mimicking him pretty good. Especially when they come into the stage. What was it, gravy? What'd you call it, gravy?
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork.
Why you made me say that? I'm putting that in my show too. I'm gonna talk about me being a stripper. I quit when they said coming to the stage, pulled pork. What the hell? That's my joke. I'm keeping that one.
Yeah,
but yeah, I saw that too. It's a shame how brothers get treated in the NFL, you know what I'm saying, 1-2 seasons in. When we watch other coaches, how long has Mike McCarthy been in Dallas?
3 years.
3 years. And if he loses tonight, he still may have a job. They still ain't really doing too much talking about firing him. Right. You know, you got coaches. What's the coach down in Mike LaFleur? LaFleur down in Green Bay.
Yeah.
How many years he been there?
4 years.
You don't hear nothing about his job not being, being secure or anything like that. And listen, and he arguably has the greatest quarterback of the game right now in the game. So it's hard to see when brothers get it and they get kicked to the curb, but it's okay, because they made the football Negro League now. It's the USFL. They brought that back because they got all black coaches. That's the football Negro League. Once you gonna see all the black coaches and all the guys who get fired, they're gonna be working at the USFL.
Yeah, word of that gets out, boy, the football Negro. Word of that gets out, there gonna be some people talking. What the Negro League? What?
Listen. That's just like the Jordan section of Nike. That's the black section.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, so. Let's talk about. As we talked about that. Yeah. Let's talk about the NBA because we got a couple of things to talk about the NBA. I don't know if you heard about this, right? But the Milwaukee Bucks, they got Serge Ibaka. He played his last game for the Milwaukee Bucks. He and the team have reportedly agreed to find a trade partner before February 9th. Now, I'm hoping he lands in the Celtics, but that's just me. You know what I mean? But the Bucks seem to be mad at him for some reason, and they're not happy with his output right now. Now, Serge Ibaka has played in the league for 14 years. He still got something left in the tank. If he lands on a couple of teams right now, they'll be sitting back saying, "Whoa, this is the dude that helped us, gave us 5-7 good minutes to help us get an NBA championship." Now, I'm not gonna say the Lakers because everybody and their mother, the Lakers got all kind of problems. If Serge Ibaka leaves, where do you want to see him land at, Mo? Because I know I definitely.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to see him with the Knicks. He needs to go somewhere where they need a defensive player that could be a two-way player, defense and offense. Because he's a decent two-way player. maybe Serge Ibaka might be a good fit in Golden State since Draymond Green ain't producing.
Yo, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. That's a great
He's a
idea.
two-way player, so
Yeah.
they get to stop some of the bleeding because their defense out there is not really up to par like it was. Draymond is. I mean, mentally he's good. Physically, he just can't respond to what his mind is saying. Plug Serge Ibaka in there. Now it ain't all on Draymond. Even if Serge Ibaka comes off the bench,
right?
Which I'm sure he won't have a problem doing because it's Golden State.
That's actually not a bad idea if he landed it because he can still shoot, he can still score, he can still do rebound, he can still it's not bad.
And it takes a lot off of each one of them because they're both of them old. So you know, one start, one come in, other one come in. Shoot, sometime maybe both of them might finish. Imagine having Serge Ibaka and Draymond Green on the floor at the same time.
That'd be dope. Look at my man Amir Sealy came to Amir. What's happening? What's cracking?
Hey, what's going on? How's everything, gentlemen? I'm sorry about that. Hey, how's everything, Mo? I was in another space and I looked. I was like, oh shoot, Frank asked me to get on the thing. My bad, Frank. My bad. How's everything going, gentlemen? What we talking about?
Right now, this is what we talk about, Amir.
We talk about baking soda.
No, we're not. We're talking about Serge Ibaka possibly landing on a certain team because he requested to be traded from Milwaukee Bucks, and they are going to trade him. So we were sitting here trying to figure out where will Serge Ibaka land, and he said Golden State wouldn't be a bad place for him to land. I'm like, yo, that's not a bad idea because Serge Ibaka lands in Golden State because they look like they needed hype last night. But we'll talk about the Celtics game in a second. But Amir, where would you like Serge Ibaka to land if he gets traded right now? Because February 9th is right around the corner.
You know, that's so crazy, man, because like you said, he obviously would be a great addition to the Golden State Warriors in generally speaking, just because of not only his height, but, you know, he brings a little bit of toughness and he brings, you know, tenacity to that team. Other than Draymond Green, they really don't have that in some of the other younger players. So that would be a good fit for him. But where else could he go that he could make an impact? He might be able to. What's the team that Joker plays on?
Oh, Dallas? No, Denver.
Dallas. Denver. He might be able to make an impact there because I think they have the pieces there. I think where they're missing is the fact that, you know, you only have Joker, who is their predominant main source of scoring. The other young man is, you know, still getting his legs back under him after having been off for, you know, the last few years. So again, he'd bring that toughness because they can't get over that hump. When you get to the playoffs, you got to have some guys who are willing to do the tough things. They're willing to get those rebounds that nobody wants to get. They're willing to dive for loose balls and, you know, things of that magnitude. And Ibaka at this stage of his career, he could bring that sort of energy to, you know, one of those teams that is right there on that cuspis. And I think, you know, that's another team that where his services might really be necessary, or they could utilize them. I would say LA, but the problem with LA is they really just need for, you know, who to get healthy. It's, you know, they can't do anything with Glass Man, you know, just because. And that's and that's really what the issue is. Yeah, that's the truth. I love Anthony. I love Anthony. But he, you know, the thing in that I never took into consideration, this is real talk because, you know, obviously I still have friends in and around the basketball circles. And I was speaking to somebody and they mentioned to me, they said, Amir, you got to understand though, when you see guys like Anthony and, you know, certain dudes who seem to be injured all the time. Matter of fact, I was looking at an interview with John Sally, and he was saying that those guys that they get to be 6'10 and 6'11 and all that stuff, there's a lot of moving parts to those gentlemen. I'm 6'2", I think, Frank, you 6'3", 6'4", something like that. We seem tall, but when you start getting into the 6'6", the 6'8", the 6'9", that's a lot of real estate in leg and bones and, you know, things of that magnitude. So when those guys are jumping, when they're falling to the floor, that's a lot of moving parts that have to make those adjustments. When you're smaller, you don't have to necessarily make the same adjustments. I'm not saying you don't have to make adjustments, but you don't have to make the same. So when I watched the interview and he was talking about that, I said, wow, I never really thought about that because, you know, again, we want to see our favorite players be available and play and all this stuff. But Anthony in particular, if everybody remember, he was a guard that had a growing spurt over the summer where he shot up,
Yeah.
the way he shot up to. So that's a lot for him to have to, make that transition. And again, I could say this, even for my brother, because, y'all Frank, who my brother was. Malik had a growing spurt similar to that. One summer we were all the same height, and then he had a summer where, he just grew, and the rest of us kind of stayed where we were. So for young men or young women, because I'm sure they go through the same thing, that's a lot for the body to have to, you got to really either be like a LeBron or somebody like that who cherishes your body and, constantly works on it. So, but like I said, to get back to your original question, I think Ibaka could, be effective in Denver. I can't say any of the other young teams that are doing well in the West because I think those teams are still just too young. You know what I mean? Like, they're all playing well, but they just young. And until, those guys start to understand certain things, even, you know what? He might do well too on the team that John Moran is on. Because I don't think they have somebody who's a solid, big man who understands that.
Yeah, Memphis needs a veteran too, so he might land. Yeah, that's not a good spot.
Memphis would be a good spot. Yeah, that would be a good spot.
Memphis would be a good spot. I ain't mad at the Memphis idea. Let's talk about the Celtics game last night, Mo. You up first, man? I know you saw it, right, Mo? You see it?
I saw some of it, man. After a while, okay.
So you don't like the Celtics either, right? You're a Knicks fan, right?
Yeah, man. Only reason why I don't like this, you know what? Even if I lived in Boston, I wouldn't be a Celtics fan. You know why? The greatest athlete of all sports, Bill Russell, the winningest athlete, they have nothing that says Bill Russell around the stadium. But yet still, the one dude who was a great hitter but never won a ring, Ted Williams, he gets a tunnel. Mm-hmm. They got the I'm dead sick. Malik, they got Amir. They got the Ted Williams tunnel. Now they got something. They got something here in Massachusetts for Bill Russell, but I shouldn't have to say they got something here. We know where Jordan's statue is. We know where the Rocky statue. We got to go on Google and ask. I asked Sarah. She was like, "Hold up, I'll get back to you. Let me find out."
Well, can we get back to the game, bro? Before we do the Black Power thing, I just want to know, can we get back to the game, bro? So I just want to know.
My bad. Yeah. Celtics, man, they look like the team they're supposed to be. That's what they look like. They took advantage
of the best team in the league, right?
They look like the team they're supposed to be. They took advantage of the situation.
Man, you see how hard it is for him to say that they're the best team. Well, I'm just asking you, bro. That's all. They are the best team in the league. I'm just asking you. But they didn't look like it last night. I got to say that they didn't look like it last night, but they still won. But they are the best team in the league. So, if you're gonna give me a lot of problems with the Patriots, I'm gonna let you have it. Bro. I ask Amir. Amir, I know you saw the game last night, right?
I didn't get a chance to catch the game last night. Okay. First of all, who did they play? If it was the Knicks and they won, they play Golden State. Yeah, what's amazing about the Boston Celtics, and I do mean this because I think last year they had they were just as great last year. To me, the issue for them is finding the third person who's going to step up on a consistent basis. You know what Brown is capable of. You know what the other young man is capable of. Those two are not anything that you have to worry about. It's who is the third person who on a consistent basis will give them that extra thing.
I think they got it. Malcolm Brogdon right now is going up for the Sixth Man of the Year award. He's in a lot of conversations because he's giving them a double every single night coming off the bench. Like, he's the guy. He helped, like when Golden State was coming and they were making a run, he came in. Celtics were down by 11. He helped chop the lead back down, and Celtics ended up tying, going in. Malcolm Brogdon was a key component of that. So you're absolutely right.
Listen,
because I think that's the only
win. I'm sorry,
but here's my thing. I think that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mo. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. I had my time.
I was gonna say I think that the Celtics, like I said, they're on the cuspice. They just have to have that third piece that knows that my job is to get in there and to ensure that I contribute the same way Brown and the other young man contribute. Once they get that, they won't have any problems. They play defense extremely well. They seem to be well coached, and they know what they're supposed to be doing and how to do it. One of the issues that you have when you're watching a lot of the games now is you watch these teams that don't have identity, and then they just don't, like, you ever see some of the plays where dudes are arguing with each other like, Frank, you were supposed to be over there covering Mo. I shouldn't have to tell you that. Frank should know that. He knows the set that they running. Mo gonna be open in the corner. Frank, rotate, make sure we don't give Mo an open look. When you don't have that kind of cohesiveness, and at least from what I've seen with the Boston Celtics, Celtics over the last 2 years, they were getting to that space. And I think once they really lock in, and like I said, to your point, this young man Brogdon, if he can lock in and be that third source for them, you can't do anything with those young men. First of all, Brown and Tatum alone are too much to handle. Brown is, you know what I love about Brown? He's unassuming. He goes out there and he murders you quietly. You ever watch Brown? He goes to the basket quietly. He knocks down shots. It's not a real whole bunch of pointing in anybody's face and like, look at me. It's like, dude, you woke me up. I'm a problem. And Tatum is Tatum. So that third piece or that third thing is what's going to give them that, ooh, okay, now these dudes really understand. So I'm waiting to see, to your point, if this young man can sustain that. Because we all know when you go into the playoffs and the bright lights really come on, that's a whole different beast, because that's when the criticisms come into play. Hey, Frank, you didn't show up last night. What happened? Either you fall or you show the real deal. So that's, I think that's what we're up to. So it should be good. It should be good.
All right, let's talk about the next story.
I'm proud of Boston.
Let's talk about the next story, Mo. You up first, Mo. The next story is Ben Simmons came up last night. The Brooklyn Nets were playing the Phoenix Suns last night. Now, I don't know if you saw this game last night, Amir or Mo, but Mo, I was watching a lot of the game. And Phoenix was handling them. You know what I mean? I fell asleep on the game. When I woke up and stayed up, actually, they ended up losing the game. And I found out that Ben Simmons got ejected, and it was the turning point of the game. But he gets ejected, and they end up making a run after he leaves the game. So, Mo, talk to me about the Brooklyn Nets. They lost, 4 straight now? 5 straight? Something's going on with the Brooklyn Nets over there, man. 1 minute ago, they won 12 straight. Now they lost 4 straight. What's your take, Mo?
It goes to show you what not having Kevin Durant could do to your team. That's cut and dry. Don't care what you say about it. This is what happens when Kevin Durant goes down and they don't have nobody solidified enough to take on the reins of not having Durant, man. They haven't been right since. Ben Simmons said at one point in the early before the season, we have a championship caliber team. Yeah, because you got Kevin Durant. But you don't have a championship caliber team without Durant. And I still think that Kyrie Irving, he's a beast. He's a monster. But it doesn't mean that he's not able to pull it out and win it all on his own, because he's not going to get so much help from Ben Simmons. It's like, who's stepping up on that team? Everything is falling on Kevin. No wonder he got hurt. It's all the responsibility is his.
Yeah, honestly, I feel really bad for that dude, but I'll tell you my point in a second. Amir, I don't know if you saw the game last night or heard about everything else, but yeah, man, Brooklyn ended up they made a comeback. They were getting blown out. They made a comeback without Ben Simmons after he got ejected. They still lost, but they were on a 4-game losing streak after winning like 12, 13, I think maybe in 14 games straight. They were on a winning streak there. And of course, KD gets hurt, everything changes. What's your take?
I gotta agree with Mo. It's funny how, again, sometimes our appreciation for the game and for the players all boils down to when we see what teams do when they don't have those signature players. Kevin Durant, for all intents and purposes, is obviously one of the better players in the league, or if not one of the best players in the league. We see that, we know it, we understand it. Kyrie, again, another outstanding player, somebody who we as box office once we have the opportunity. I'm a little disappointed, to say the least, in Ben Simmons, because there was all of this hype and all of this, stuff saying that this guy was, possibly going to be the next or one of the few, who shouldered the league, for lack of a better word. And he hasn't proven to be that just yet. We keep looking and waiting for this moment. And so far that moment hasn't come. So to Ben Simmons, because we know what Kyrie's capable of. We know what, Kevin Durant is capable of. Ben, where are you at, sir? lauded the league for all of your money, back pay. We rode with you when you said this was wrong and that was wrong. And yet, still to this point, until this day, you have yet to prove worthy of any of that stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody deserves their shot. Everybody deserves their money. But you made it seem as though you were going to be an impactful player. Where's the impact at, son? Where's the impact? Because we haven't seen it. You know what I mean?
Good question. Let's talk about y'all's New York Knicks, man. Because the Knicks center Mitchell Robinson had surgery on his broken thumb. They need a big man. Maybe a Serge Ibaka, Mo. Maybe Serge Ibaka lands on the Knicks. But what do you think the Knicks are going to do before the trade deadline, Mo? Because they got to do something. You know what I mean? Like they got to do something. Because right now they putting together a year. You know, a year that people didn't expect to see. What you take, Mo?
Yeah. You know what? I thought about the Serge Ibaka coming to New York before I said it. I just felt Golden State was a better landing spot. But I wouldn't turn down Serge Ibaka right now in New York City. You know, but I think we need that rim protection because Mitchell Robinson was a key point, you know, to our offense and our defense. You know, and he has averaging like 3 blocks a game. He had so many different things going on defensively. He was holding down on rebounds, second chance points. So without him, because Hartnick and the young boy, Jericho Sims, they're okay. But to go up against some of these premiers like Embiid's and Jokic players like that, you know, we need Mitchell Robinson. He's that unsung hero. So yeah, I can see Serge Ibaka coming in, you know, if they do. But the Knicks are going to make a move. The Knicks are going to make a move, I think, before the deadline. But I just want to say this. Every year we say the Knicks are going to make a move. The Knicks are going to make a move. And they don't make a move. So all I'm doing is repeating it. Hopefully the results change. I can probably say the Knicks made a move, but we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to see. Amir, where are you at with this, man? Because they need to make something. The center got hurt. They need to do something.
No, I agree. I think, you know, like you said, Ibaka probably would be a good fit or, you know, a nice fit for that situation. You know, again, to me, the problem for the Knicks is they just don't have a bona fide superstar. They have great all-stars, but they don't have a superstar. Superstars are the cats who can take over games under any circumstance, either from a defensive standpoint or an offensive standpoint, but they can take over games. And their play injects itself or, you know, affects his team members. The Knicks do not have that. I love, you know, who we have and so forth and so on, but we need somebody who's a bona fide superstar, not an all-star, who's a bona fide superstar, because then that way we'll find ourselves in a situation where now we can, you know, fight for something and be, you know, popular. But it's going to be some time before we get to that space, because I think ownership for the Knicks just doesn't really care. I think one of the things that is one of the reasons why we're crippled the way that we are is because they are the New York Knicks. And I think the gentleman who owns it knows that he has all this corporate backing. So why do I have to definitively do anything to make the team great when all these corporations have already bought into all the seats? And it really is showtime. I bring Frank to New York and say, hey, Frank, you know, let's sit in the box. Let's sit on the front row so you can, you know, bump fists with, you know, Tracy Morgan and stuff like that. So they don't really have to do anything. And until we can get him to see that you have to invest in your investment, we're always going to be in this position. Like Mo said, talking about, we're going to make a move. No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, Mo, last question of the show before we roll up out of here. Do you think the Miami Heat will shake things up, because they're in trade talks with everybody for everything? And it seems like if the Miami Heat roster, no one is safe. So I'm not even sure how the Miami Heat people, you know, players themselves are feeling like right now. Because, you know, if you're a player for any team, I don't care what nobody says. And Malik, your brother Amir probably could have said something along the lines of, I know I'm good, you know what I mean, versus you look down the line, I don't know about you, and I don't know about you. You know what I mean? Like some players, when they play, they have the comfortability level of knowing that they're not going to be traded. But I'm sure Malik also knows, he knew about the Amir, correct me if I'm wrong, but he knew that on any given time, you can get traded also, too. But Mo, Amir, you come up in a second. Mo, what you think about the situation with the Miami Heat sitting there saying that anybody's up for, you know, you give me the right package, you can get anybody. Jimmy Butler on down. What you think, Mo?
Yeah, I think what's going on right now in Miami, you got Pat Riley sitting in the office right now. You know what I'm saying? He's playing he's the Don. He's the Don. And he's about to make a power move and he's about to shake things up. He's about to send the captains out, and everybody is suspect when it comes to Pat Riley. You know that. Pat Riley ain't pulling no punches. He don't care if your feelings get hurt. It's about him winning these rings down there in Miami because he do know how to put together championship teams. He's proved it time and time again. So he has no problem starting over because he has that pedigree in him that can build a championship team. Yeah, I think everybody's suspect. I don't even think Jimmy Butler is not even, he's suspect. Everybody's suspect. Everybody's suspect. Listen, if Michael Jordan can end his career with the Wizards, we know everybody could be suspect after that. Once I found out Jordan was suspect, everybody is suspect. I don't care what you say.
Amir, what's your take, bro? Do you think that Miami's doing a good thing by saying everybody's available? I can't hear you, Amir. Oh,
yeah, I'm sorry about that, Frank. What'd you say?
I said, do you think that everybody being available for Miami Heat is a good thing? What's your take on this, bro?
You know what? I think Miami does need a bit of a shakeup. You know, fortunately, unfortunately, again, another one of those teams that we had assumed they were championship ready. They seem to have the pieces in place. I think sometimes what tends to happen, and again, to your point, Frank, you know, I know something about trade and I know something about hearing how team members do and don't like each other. A lot of times, and there are championships that have been won with team members that don't like each other, but a lot of times it's a not liking each other kind of thing that forces the energy that we see that becomes negative, you know, for a team. And I think where Miami's concerned, obviously at one point it was, what's my man, the brother who, you know, was kind of his team. And then I remember for a while they were talking about it was Hero's team. You know, when you start having that kind of friction, that kind of animosity within the organization, you know, it throws people. Because there are those who show up to work every day. They're ready. They want to work. They, you know, can't wait to, you know, show what they're capable of. And then you have those who, you know, they talking about me right now. So I'm feeling myself. And you're like, oh, okay, you got 15 minutes, dog. What we gonna do? We're gonna ride out your 15 minutes, or you gonna make this a lifestyle? And I think for the Miami Heat, to your point, that's what they're, you know, finding themselves. Even the center, the center kid. He, if I'm not mistaken, he had a couple of games this year where he had a nice high double-double. Did he not have like a 3-game winning streak or a 4-game? So you understand? So what tends to happen is, again, I'm feeling myself. I'm the new king of Miami. We didn't win anything. You can't be the king of anything without the crown. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening. So I think what a lot of these teams are up against is the mentality of these younger players who may or may not understand that it's the continuous hard work. It's the continuous showing up that is eventually going to get you to your goal. But if you don't do that, then there's a chance that you may find yourself, you know, to your point, Frank, on the chopping block and maybe in another zip code and another team. And like you said, I know firsthand because I've heard classic funny stories of cats hitting the warm-up line, dudes sitting on the bench and look up at the, you know, big screen in the middle of the thing. And you see, oh, Frank Holder's been traded. Wait a minute. How am I traded to Indiana and I'm in my Detroit uniform? So you got to run back into the locker room, put your regular clothes back on and get up out of there. So I just hope that the players in Miami understand that, you know, and like any team, it's a privilege, man, and it's an honor, obviously, to be a part of that club. There's only 300 and something men or 400 and something men that are part of that club. You know how many D1, D2, and D3 schools there are? So, you know, take that honor and that privilege seriously. Don't just, you know, take it for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because just to make it is a classic thing. But Amir, thank you for joining the show, man. I appreciate you taking the time, man. Even though it wasn't the whole show, I know you were busy ripping and running, so I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you, sir.
You can follow me right there at the bottom, A-Rock Sealy on Instagram, and I'm Amir Sealy on Facebook, and I'm Amir Sealy on Twitter. I always love getting on this show and having an opportunity to chop it up with you gentlemen and talk sports. Frank, thank you. Mo, always good to see you, and I hope both of you gentlemen have dope weekends, man.
Yeah, I hope you do too, bro. Mo, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro. If you got anything jumping off this weekend.
Yeah, I got a show jumping off in Warwick, Rhode Island this weekend. doing a show at a club, actually in the strip mall. Some friends of mine's in the recovery community, so I'm doing a sober show. So if you're out there, you don't drink, you don't do nothing, come on and hang out. We in Rhode Island. Hit my page on Instagram, Mo_comic, for all the information for the flyer. And always remember, Mr. Sit Your Ass Down, SITCHO. On my TikTok, coming out with new Sit Your Ass Down. We didn't do it today, so I'm gonna hold it for Monday, Frank.
Oh man, I didn't know you had it. Okay, we'll do it Monday.
Well, I'm always I followed Julie. I thought you might want to hold it. So
let's hold it to Monday, because Monday I'm sure you're going to have a lot more to add on to after the NFL game. I'm looking forward to the games this weekend, bro. Can't wait. Can't wait to see the moving around and everything. Anyway, the show is called Box Seats. Thank you all for watching and supporting every day. Like Renee and Trina and all the ladies, man, like you ladies and the gentlemen too. Good. Like, man, I thank you all so much. I can't begin to tell you. Even when I don't want to do it, I sit there and say, you know what? They're going to be looking for me to do it. So I need to get my butt up, motivated to do it. And yesterday my computer crashed, so I couldn't do it. I literally crashed like 40 minutes before the show. I was. Whew, you want to see a grown man cry, man? I was in tears.
I can only believe. I can only imagine. Wow.
Whew. The show comes on again at 7, comes on again at 11. The repeat is the app is called the Humor Mill app. Download us. We got a lot more stuff jumping off. Thank you all for watching. Mir, Mo, Frank here. Thank you all. We'll see y'all Monday. Have a safe weekend. Take care.
Peace out.
Peace.